Well, it's the greatest job in the world. I know everybody says that, but the career itself, the fire service, EMS, you get a chance to help people. You get a chance to make a difference in people's lives. And I think sometimes we take for granted the ability we have to make a difference in the people we work with. I just think it's just amazing, and I don't want to ever take it for granted. I want to be able to embrace it and make the most of what we've been given. And I think part of that making the most is treating our customers, the people, the patients, the citizens, treating them with respect and dignity and taking care of their needs, but also the people we work with, showing them leadership and helping raise future leaders and succeeding what's happening here now. So I'm excited about working here. I'm excited about the future. The part of the department I'm most committed to, probably because of my background, is training. As a high school teacher and as a coach for much of my life, I've always loved that aspect. I love the training, I love the teaching, I love instructing, and I get opportunities to do that up here, and I love the training aspect of our department. I've had the opportunity to teach for the outside vendors that have come in here and I've taught multiple classes. Send it back to me in our office and just send me an email that it's coming. I've had the opportunity to be a part now in the compliance office section. I've had the opportunity to work with the rescue office and train on some of the EPCR things. I think training is the future because training allows us to set ourselves for the future. It allows us to know where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. And if we can continue to make progress and train ourselves better, we accomplish so much more. We're able to do all those things with the community, with the people around us every day. And there's no issue that we can't face, but training is the key to that. And I love it. The people who've known me for a while, they'd ask me a few years ago, well, where do you see yourself? I'm like, in training. And they're like, why would you want to go leave here? And I'm like, well, I love the shift schedule. I love the 24 on, but I really like to train. And so this was my opportunity. And there's no doubt about it. That's what I'm the most passionate about. The first person that actually even brought up the idea of being a firefighter to me was Chief Green, Kevin Green from City of West Palm, who's now at Delray Beach. I was teaching his kids and he's like, man, you'd be a great firefighter. And I'm like, what's a firefighter do? I had no clue. I was in my 20s and just being a teacher and enjoying life. And then met Moses Abdul-Noor, who works for us, who said, man, you'd be a great firefighter. And so I thought, well, let me look into it. So those two guys really got me started on the job and the career itself. And I was actually taking my fire department training, my firefighter training, while I was working for muscular dystrophy. And in that process, I got to know everybody there, and upon being hired, Matt Wilhite was like, hey, I need you to be the MDA coordinator. I'm moving to do some other things in the union. I said, okay, great. Well, as a result of that, I got to meet Chief Bryce. What a great chance and opportunity he gave me when I brought the chaplain idea to him. And he was very receptive to it and open to it, and that gave me an opportunity that opened up a ton of doors to minister to the needs of our people. And so he was definitely an inspiration and definitely a help. And Chief Gerald continued that along the way, right away. When I talked to Chief Bryce and Chief Gerald back then, they were very supportive. But my first meeting with Chief Collins was him looking me in the eye and saying, this is an important part of our department. And I feel strongly about it. I believe in it. I want you to succeed in it. So you let me know what you need and we'll make it happen. And it's always been that way. And the other support is from my church. I attend Christ Fellowship. We're actually shooting right now in the church where I serve. And the church here has been so supportive of me in my ministry as a chaplain. I'm a volunteer here. My wife works on staff, and they've been so supportive. They've helped us with Recruit Academy graduation locations. They've helped us with so many things to support the chaplaincy as well. And that's one of the reasons we chose to shoot here today, just because this has been a part of my life as well. And it's helped to make me who I am, to allow me to be the chaplain that I want to be. So I just want to make sure that people know that my church and my administration have been very supportive of this endeavor, and it's part of the reason we're able to do what we're able to do. The recruit graduations, the promotional ceremonies, the awards ceremonies, even weddings, those are kind of the reward for being the chaplain, I think. You get an opportunity to see people celebrate. We've been able to be there for just after the birth of a child, or seeing someone that got better that was in the hospital.
James Aguiar.
Seeing 20 or 30 new recruits graduate. Those are the moments where you get to afterwards grab people, give them a hug and say, hey, we're here for you, we'll let you know. Even on the family nights for our new recruits. That's been so much fun to be able to meet them, I call them kids, meet these new recruits and their families and their kids and their spouses and the parents, and be able to say, hey, we're here not only for you, but also for your family members, and whatever we need to do to help you, we will. And that's the reward, that's the blessing. I've been able to do so many weddings I never would have even thought about, kids of firefighters who are getting married. There's special moments to be able to share those times, and that's when, once again, that family, that brotherhood, that sisterhood, a lot of people don't get to experience that, and we get to do that here. So as a chaplain, I think it takes that even to another level, because you get to be a part of these huge celebrations. I think that when it comes to the funerals, those are definitely the hardest part of the chaplaincy. I think because of the brotherhood, the sisterhood, the family that we have here. When someone loses someone else in their family, you feel like it's part of your family. So I believe that today we are doing something that is directly related to what God has asked us to do for this family and these friends. We're weeping with those who are hurting. I think that very quickly you learn what it takes to step in, to meet people at their time of need and try to help them. And those are very difficult times, but I would say this, the reason that you show up and continue to show up is for two things. One, it's family, it's our family, but number two is it's rewarding. There's a bond that develops as a result of those funerals, and so I'm grateful for that, and I think that's what keeps you coming back and making sure that you do that. And we have chaplains that help with a lot of things, but I try to do all the funerals just because I know it's an opportunity to minister to people at their greatest time of need. To do this without the support of your family would just not be possible, because there are a lot of time commitments. Tammy and I had some really serious discussions about, wow, this is going to take a toll emotionally, over time. But I think because I have the support system of my family, it works. The assistant chaplains have been a huge help too. I know specifically Bob Wallace, Doc Fortnash, Jim Bass, and Rick Christmas were the first four to kind of jump in with me right away. You can only be as good as the people around you, and that's the only reason we've been able to be effective. I think the biggest thing is serve others. Be a servant to others, lead others that same way. And it sounds like a little bit of a oxymoron, but I know when I was younger, we learned that term servant leadership. And it's that idea that you lead people by serving them. You lead them by showing them the right thing to do the right way. The best captains and officers I've ever had have been people who have been there with me, mopping the floors, being a part of what's going on, helping with dishes, and even on the calls, being the first ones in, doing whatever needs to be done. I think that's my encouragement, is if we treat people like they matter. It doesn't matter whether you're talking about the people we serve in the community or the people we serve in the seat next to us. If we do that, and I think that's the goal, is to really reach out, serve others, lead others the way they need to be led. The biggest inspiration has been my parents. My dad's a military veteran for, I think he was 24 years, high school teacher, just taught me what it means to be a hard worker and to be a man of integrity, a person that does the right thing the right way for the right reasons. And my mom is just an amazing partner with him. They do things the right way. They're always respectful. They're the most generous people I know. And back when we had nothing, they constantly gave, they constantly gave, they constantly gave. It meant that they didn't have as much as they needed, and that included us, included our friends, it included people in need, and they've continued to do that. So those are probably my biggest inspirations leading up to this career. Chief came into the office, Chief Schaffner came in the office and said, "Can I shake your hand?" And I'm going, "Sure." So he shakes my hand, he goes, "I just wanted to shake the hand of the Employee of the Year." And I thought he was kidding. I was like, "Come on, Chief, you know." So we laughed a little bit, and then I realized after a couple minutes he was serious, and it's very humbling, because you think, I know a lot of people who deserve this, and I feel like deserve it a lot more than me. And there's probably people watching this video thinking, yes, definitely, there are a lot of people who deserve it more than you. But so I wanted to call my wife and tell her, so I called her, and her response was, very typical of her. She's like, I'm not surprised at all. You're just amazing. I'm just glad everybody else knows how amazing you are. And I'm thinking, wow, that's really nice. And I'm still surprised and, well, like I said, very humbled that I got it.